Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Barb and welcome to Get Vulnerable with me, where we normalize that it's okay to not be okay and embrace it with open arms. So for this week's theme or this week's topic, I actually left it up to you guys to throw some suggestions at me at what you want me to bring into this channel. And I feel like with the suggestions that you guys gave me, I can sum it all up into one main topic. And the topic isn't a topic, it's a word. The word should. Do you ever think about how many times you say the word should in your life? I want you to think about it. I should be doing XYZ by this age. I should have this job by this time. I should be making this amount of money by the time my life reaches this point. I should be married, I should have kids, I should XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3. It seems like we have all these expectations that are always outside of us. For example, maybe you feel like you should have done something because at the age your mother or father were, they did it. Or maybe because you have a friend who is already doing it. Or maybe because social media is telling you that these are the things you should be doing because look at how many people out there that you don't even know, but they're doing it, so why aren't you? I want you to take a moment and just take a step back outside of yourself and really think about the expectations you used to have and focus on maybe what you do have now, but see it in a different perspective. Maybe you thought by the age that you're in right now, you have the most amazing grand house with the fanciest, fastest cars. And maybe that's not the case. But maybe you have a roof over your head and you live in a home where maybe it's not the biggest house, but you have a pretty nice view or a pretty nice neighborhood. And maybe you don't drive the fastest car, but you have a car that gets you from point A to B, aka you have transportation. Maybe you thought that you still be with that first love that sparked up every emotion they felt in every cell of your body, but maybe that's not the case for you. Maybe you've dated and it hasn't worked out and you're still seeing what's out there. Maybe you thought that you'd be some big executive CEO of some amazing company and now you're in a completely different field and whatever college degree that you got is just sitting in some stuffy old drawer or hung up on a wall somewhere that you don't even see anymore. I feel like these are all things that we kind of play that comparison game because there's a judge inside our heads that tells us, oh, things didn't go your way. You should have done these things. You should have been with that person. You should have worked that job. You should have done whatever. All these things that we placed expectations on in a past version of ourselves for our future selves that we didn't even know yet. Because at least I can speak for myself. The woman I am today is definitely not the same woman I was a year ago, 2 years ago, let alone 5+ years ago, okay? So taking a step back and with that perspective switch, just focusing less on everything you haven't done that you should have done and more on the things that you have done. And the reason I see that we became more open-minded to change and open-minded to a change in direction specifically is because we're a generation that just doesn't settle. Like, unhappiness is not an option for us. So maybe you didn't do the things you should have done because you realize that the version of you are today doesn't want those things that a version of you a year, 2 years, 5 years ago ever wanted. Maybe you didn't want to buy a big house right now because you wanted to just move around, see the world, explore. Maybe you didn't end up with the first person that you were so in love with because that version of you no longer exists. And the person that fell in love with that person isn't who you are today. So it wouldn't have worked out. And that heartbreak that felt so heavy back in the day, now you probably look back at and you're like, wow, thank God it didn't happen because I will be so unhappy because the version of me today wants completely different things. Maybe the job that didn't work out and that you were supposed to be in, you would ultimately end up super unhappy in because you probably weren't that passionate about it in the first place. It was just what you were supposed to be doing. To wrap up our next Get Vulnerable with me, I want to just bring some perspective switch because I know at least I'm such a critic of, or I'm such a example of this myself where I feel like I play that game so much with myself. I should have been at XYZ place in my life right now. I should have done more. And I forget to be grateful for where I am right now because the more that we focus on everything we don't have, the more that you feel like you aren't enough and the more that we're hard on ourselves and we pull ourselves back from getting to places of growth and expansion, because we're literally putting ourselves in this box ourselves where we're just being so hard on ourselves. So if you took anything from this video, I hope that it's just focusing less on everything that you should have done and focusing more on everything that you have done, honoring every part of the process and just enjoying it, because the destination is gonna be there whether you want to or not. We're gonna get there eventually, but just appreciating every step of the journey, because everything is working out for you, I promise. So thank you so much for watching. I'm so happy that I was able to give you guys another, I guess, episode, what do we want to call this? Video segment of Get Vulnerable with me. If there's anything you guys want me to talk about or anything that you want me to share on these episodes, please drop it in the comments or message me directly at the Brazilian Fit Barbie. I hope to see you guys next week. Thanks so much for watching.